the award-winning Beyond Vaudeville program with your host, Frank Hope, and your co-host, David Green, Suzanne Muldowney as Underdog, Renaissance Man William Brown, Trayman, music guy Alan Chusid.
Okay, thank you and welcome once again to the Beyond Vaudeville program. As you can see, we have an all-star show today, and but before we get started, I just want to quickly show some things. This was sent in by some fans, Amber Houston, Wendy Kobalars, and Virginia Kobalars, and their drawings of the whole show, or a lot of the show. It's me, and then David. Look at this. Oh, David's reading the letter already. He must like this. And Joey the Monkey. Wow, oh, that was very nice of them to send that in. We also want to thank fans Thomas Smith and Lynn Ferrara and R. Alvin and Jim Merlis for writing in. And some other things I have to show you. This is Mickey Rooney now in a new movie he's doing where he plays a baby. And we're going to all look forward to that. That looks like that should be good. And also want to thank Barry Krause, who has a new comic collection, art collection called Dimension X. And he even mentions Beyond Vaudeville right in there. And I want to thank him for that. And you should get that. And also, I thought it would be fun to bring the Mr. T doll today. And he has all his jewelry, just like Mr. T, and there he is, a Mr. T, right, Dave? Remember Mr. T from the A-Team program, right? Right. Okay. Well, and also the oh boy, the Hulk Hogan. Also, I dropped my mic. Okay, everything's under control, right, David? Okay, hold on. All right, also the Hulk Hogan water jet squirt power grip gun. And also, last but not least, oh, and the ET tray. Also want to show you the dinner tray, which is very good if you want to eat while you're watching TV, right? And the Batman, the new Batman, not the original, not the Adam West one, but the other Batman doll. Okay, wow, that was all very interesting, wasn't it? Oh wait, one more thing. The Corey Haim video is out, and this is a very interesting video. Among other things, you find out his favorite actor is John Ritter of Three's Company fame. And okay, that's everything now, and let's get on to our first guest. This is a very big star. Oh, I'm sorry, one more thing. This also we got from Chris Diola, Joe Franklin's assistant, made us a sign for the Beyond Vaudeville show. And Chris actually came today, and we were all very excited about having him on, but he doesn't want to come on because he thinks there's too much junk on the show. And Chris, if you're still out there, please come on in, and help us maybe to find out what's wrong with the show. I don't know. We just try and, I don't know. Anyway, well, we want to get to our guest, and our first guest we've had on, this is, I think, I don't know how many times she's been on, but it's always fascinating to have her. We want to welcome the one and only Suzanne Muldowney. Hello, Suzanne, how are you? Let me just put your mic on there. Okay. Now, Suzanne, you wanted to come on today because you have some important words for our audience about the Nickelodeon channel has brought back the Underdog cartoons, right?
Yes. For people who may be seeing me the first time, they may not understand what this costume is. If any of you remember the TV cartoon superhero Underdog, who originated in '64, he was patterned largely after Superman, and that he was basically Superman in cartoon hound dog form. Now, in those days, when I discovered the Underdog series, I was taking dance lessons at that time. So what I did within the confines of my home in the old days, and then publicly for about the last 10 years, is to impersonate Underdog through a series of classical, modern, or improvisational dances.
Right. But now you were pointing out that there was a problem with the original cartoon series. You call them program flaws, right?
Well, you mentioned Adam West as Batman earlier. Now, many people may remember that live-action series as having been very silly, undignified. Even though it was immensely popular, it was so campy that there was a lot of negative feedback with demands for improvement or cancellation. And unfortunately, Underdog's formulators made much the same mistake in creating a kind of comical hero. Now, as a superhero, Underdog had a much bigger responsibility to set a good example. Even if he originated through cartoons, regardless of how it originates, fairy tales, TV, cartoons, comic books, depending on what his formulators decide to make him, he automatically assumes the responsibility of setting a good example to his viewers or whoever comes in contact with him. Now, because Underdog was made to be silly, I was forced to see those flaws and when I decided to impersonate him, because I had dramatic training and dramatic background, I decided to make him much more sensible, more believable. In other words, there was no escapism for reality or suspension of disbelief allowed for even a moment.
Right. Now he never did dancing he never did that dancing on the cartoons like you do. Right?
No, I do dancing as my medium, my method, particularly because he's supposed to fly like Superman. Some dance moves simulate flying without having to be suspended on extra equipment. But getting back to Nickelodeon, see, the Underdog cartoon series was never made more meritorious in the old days, and now, with Nickelodeon deciding to bring it back, all they're doing is showing the old-time series with the ancient programmatic flaws, so that another generation of impressionable young viewers could be set up for the same kinds of scrutinies and put-downs as I was. I know my adult folk reproached me for watching a silly show. You know, they questioned its practicality, not so much its entertainment. So I figured if I was going to do this character live, I had to do it more sensibly. And unfortunately, I've never been able to do that on much of a scale because I've always been by myself. There have never been other performers to do the other parts. And now all we're seeing is just a rerun of old-time mistakes. So setting people up for more put down.
And also, you said that Nickelodeon didn't even contact you, right, before they brought the cartoons back?
Well, some people claim that because I've done Underdog occasionally in the New York area, particularly through avenues such as Beyond Vaudeville, around the grapevine, some people might have mentioned my name among various circuits. Now, if Nickelodeon was inspired by me to bring back the series, I never got any acknowledgement from them. And since then, I've written Nickelodeon about what I do. I just haven't received any kind of answer for them. And I don't know. What I'm concerned about nowadays, it may be nice that the character is being recirculated after a certain period of hiatus, but all we're seeing is the ancient programmatic flaws so that goodness knows how many people might get the wrong idea and get put down, not realizing that there is a meritorious way to show it, which unfortunately has been deplorably shortchanged as far as circulation goes.
Okay, now Suzanne, one other thing, and I only bring it up because a lot of fans have written in and mentioned that they saw you on the Stern Show, and I said no, really, I said to the fans that it was wrong because, like you said, he's like the devil, right?
I didn't know. I had never heard of or seen his show before they asked me to be on it. I did not know that he was such a vulgar television host. You might consider him the King Midas of smut. So after having been on it, I was so shocked and so maltreated.
Right. But you're the one who got him off the air, right?
I don't know. I don't know if there was enough discontent over the years, however long he's been. I don't know if there was enough discontent before I came on. All I know is I just heard by word of mouth that his show was being canceled. If I did have anything to do with that decision, I have received no acknowledgement at all. I have not been given any kind of credit, let alone commendation. If I did inspire anybody to do away with something or to bring up something, I have not been acknowledged accordingly.
Right. Well, we don't believe in using dirty words on this show either, and I think it's good that you stand up for yourself like that.
But I'm talking about during this year, there has been a lot more action with the cartoon character Underdog than has been used in a great many years, but I've been left out of most of that action. If I did inspire some action or discontinuation, I have not been credited accordingly.
Oh, okay.
If I did have anything to do with it, I don't know, because I heard it only by word of mouth. I received no correspondence from the circuits in question.
Okay, well, and Suzanne does the block party circuit you've mentioned, and lots of parades, and beyond vaudeville, and no more Howard Stern, right? That's
Thank goodness.
enough of him, and because you said they were like drug pushers, making you do shows, right? Like.
That's right. They forced me to do shows against my will, and when I saw that I was surrounded by impurities, I had no way of getting out of the room because I was always strategically placed that I was in the crowds and couldn't find my way out.
Wow. Wow, you should have called the police, I think.
I couldn't even get to the phone.
Oh.
There was no way for me to alert anybody so that I could escape.
Oh, boy. All right.
But
well,
now, deservedly, you might consider Howard Stern a real-life supervillain. He's been defeated, only I don't know if I had anything to do with it because I haven't been credited accordingly.
Okay. That's Suzanne deserves credit for that. Okay. And you know about this movie? He said he's making a movie now about superheroes.
No more comment
No
about
more.
him, please.
Okay, no more. All right. Now, Suzanne, I'm sorry. Let's go to a nicer topic, which is your actual performance.
Yes.
And you're going to do for us today showcase posing, right?
Showcase posing is a routine I developed. It was based. I got the idea from standard bodybuilder posing, and it's best when I have only a very compact space to work in. So it's best that I do that kind of routine in this case.
Okay, well, if we can have the music, please, for Suzanne, and she's going to do her showcase posing for us. If I can get the microphone off. Oh, boy. I think it's stuck, Suzanne. I don't...
Oh,
okay. Is it stuck on the trim?
Yeah.
Oh, boy. Okay.
Oh, no!
All right, there, Suzanne.
Wait, I think I almost have it.
Okay.
Oh.
Oh, boy. Very much, Suzanne. That was one of your best. And off goes Underdog. Wow. Thank you very much, Suzanne Muldowney. And Suzanne had to catch a bus, so we better get moving on now. Our next guest we want to introduce is a new friend of Beyond Vaudeville, and he is an expert in many areas. And here to share some of his expertise is William Brown. How do you do, Mr. Brown?
How do you do? This is my first time on Beyond Vaudeville, but I
Yes.
still haven't done Beyond Fury yet.
Oh boy, that's another
I'll put it on
show.
myself.
And you
All
met my co-host David Green.
I certainly have.
Over there.
That's right. Now here are some of the things in which I am interested in. Here's a sample of my record collection, both 45 and LP. Now the distinction about this here is that most of these records were pressed by Columbia Records out in the typefaces we used were from the East Coast. Until the early 1960s, the typeface was in Bridgeport, Connecticut. And then afterwards, the plant moved over to Pittman, New Jersey. Now here are a couple of samples here. Let me show you one. Here is a copy of The Boy from New York City by the Ad-Libs from 1964-65. Big hit for them. Now this is very rare. A couple copies used of this.
Okay, you like that, David, huh? And
Yes.
now you have copies of all these, right?
I certainly do. All these are part of my collection. Now this is just a drop in the bucket. I have a few 78s, but I haven't Xeroxed them either. I do have a couple of albums, though. I have a rather rare copy here. As a matter of fact, the only copy I've ever seen. This is of the Doors' first album. This is side one here of the Doors' first album. Now, if you'll see here on the Alabama song, which is number 5, they list the publisher here as Whitmark. Later copies gave the publisher as Harms Company.
Mr. Brown, these remind me of the ones you used to get on the cereal boxes with the way you have them cut on the cardboard.
The only
Like
difference is you can't play these.
Right.
Sounds like hands like, you can't play these.
that. Okay.
Right.
Now,
I've also been studying the Benny Hill show.
Benny Hill,
Late Benny
right.
Hill. Yes. Great show he did. I've collected from various editions of a British casting directory called The Spotlight as to certain co-stars who have appeared on the program. Some places they don't have them.
Now you keep everything in these bags so
That's
they
right.
stay good, right?
That's absolutely right.
Right.
Now, here are a couple of co-stars who have appeared on the show over the years. First of all, can you guess who this lovely lass is here?
See, can anyone figure that out at home? I don't know. Who is that? It's Jenny Lee Wright.
That's right. She appeared on the show. She began in 1968, which was the last year Benny Hill did a show from the BBC. The most recent show she did for them was in '86.
Mr. Brown, I have a question about Benny Hill, the little bald guy that he used to
Jackie
slap.
Wright. He died in 1989. He was off the show for 6 years because they think he fell and broke his hip, and his health deteriorated from then.
Oh, and when was his last show?
Well, the last show, which featured footage of him, was aired in May of '85 in Britain.
Okay, and okay, and now, so you have a number of specialties. Any other stars you wanted to show us from Benny Hill?
Okay, yeah, I'm figuring out because they had so many co-stars and so little time. Here's his straight man for many years, Henry McGee.
Henry McGee. Okay.
Yeah, that's right. There he is in all his splendor and glory.
Okay, David, could you please be quiet so we can hear Mr. Brown speak? And
All
now you also brought some books with you, Mr. Brown.
Well,
right?
I'll tell you, it's interesting. Now, here's a book. I'm going to be plugging this. This is what I can free plug. Now, the author of this book has since died. He was Benny's brother, Leonard Hill, who died before Benny did. This is called Saucy Boy. I bought this in Britain. It's a rather interesting book. It gives a lot of details that you would not have otherwise known about Benny Hill here.
Okay, now, some people thought maybe Benny Hill was a little too dirty. right?
Well, you know, it's only eye of the beholder, but I'll tell you one thing. A lot of the people who have attacked Benny Hill are extremely partisan toward Monty Python's Flying Circus. I mean, they justify what they do as intellectual, and I think about it, that's hypocrisy.
Right.
I mean, it's like defending a serial killer's actions by saying, oh, he's a deeply religious person who goes to church every Sunday.
That makes sense. Now,
I've also done some drawings as well.
okay.
Here, this is one.
It's a great guess. I don't even have to ask any questions.
Brooklyn Vice.
Okay.
With this is a multi-leveled parody, Miami Vice parody, with the famous co-stars of The Honeymooners, Jackie Gleason and Art Carney.
And you drew that, right?
I certainly did, with colored pencil. There are several factors in this. For one thing, from 1964 to 1970, Jackie Gleason based his show in Miami Beach. Then there was something called Bedrock Vice, which was a T-shirt with Fred and Barney from the Flintstones, which was derivative of The Honeymooners. And then there was also this picture here, New York Vice, which featured Ed Koch and Mario Cuomo. The problem here, as you can see, this was actually taken from a Miami Vice photo still, and what the artist did was the same thing what the artist who drew Oprah's head over Anne Margaret's body did. Just superimposed one person's head over another person's body, which is rather cheap, if you ask me.
Well, you're
But
like
at least-
the walking encyclopedia, Mr. Brown.
I know. Some say I'm like a computer.
Okay. Now, Mr. Brown, we want to see your other things, but we can just bring out our other guests so everyone is
Okay.
here.
All right.
But please stay with us,
All
and we'd like to welcome our next guest, who's another good friend of the show, and he's going to start off with a little dance that he likes to do, and then do a poem for us. So let's please welcome Trey Man. Okay, watch the chords there, Mr. Trayman. Okay, now, Mr. Brown, maybe while Mr. Trayman's doing his performance, you know a lot about the equipment in the studio, right?
Yes,
And
I certainly do.
anything you want to say about the cameras?
All right,
or-
now the cameras here that you're seeing is the Ikegami ITC 738p. It's a pretty good camera over here. It provides you a good picture. I can see it too from the monitor over here. I have done some other cable shows too. In another studio, I did a few shows where they used the Sharp XCAL. Now, what kind of reception it does depends on how the intensity, the picture resolution is, how light or dark it is. Sometimes if it's too light, you would look like the underside of a dead fish. If they have it too dark, you look like you just came out of Miami Beach.
Oh, how do you think Mr. Trayman looks today on the?
Well, I'll tell you one thing, you could see him, that's for sure.
Okay, and okay. Well, now Trayman, that was very, very nice. Using your both your tray and your scarves, and if you want to join us here, Mr. Brown, maybe if we can make room for Mr. Trayman, and you want to come join us here, Mr. Trayman. Keep your tray over there, and you wanted to do a poem for us today, right?
Right.
Let me just put the microphone on you, and David, let Mr. Trayman have his poetry. Mr. Brown, maybe you could get the poem from David. All right, David. Mr. Trayman needs the. Thank you. Very nice. Very.
Very
Everyone's
nice, very good.
cooperative. Okay. Now, Mr. Trayman, you usually dance with your trays, but you also do poems.
That's right.
And you want to read this for us?
Yes, I do.
Okay. Please.
This is called Hello, Folks. Mick Hammond, introducing myself. Hello, folks. This is Mick Hammond, introducing myself. Ain't exactly a pixie, a leprechaun, or an elf. Ain't exactly a scarecrow. Take one look at me and you will know. Don't weigh 94, that's for sure. Don't matter whether you are fat or thin. That ain't no sin. Just get out there and eat every fruit of the vine. Just lap up every drop of milk and every bit of wine. You gotta give everything a taste. Can't let anything go to waste. Don't leave anything chaste. Yeah, get out there and flirt. And if somebody wants you and dines you, offer 'em dessert. You folks are sharp and keen. You know what I mean. Well, folks, gotta go now. Love you all. Come up and see me. We'll have a ball. I ain't about to give you any indication. Just use your imagination.
Wow, very nice, Mr. Trayman. And that's all original, and that's like a Mae West. You do that, right?
That's right. That is this is a parody on Mae West.
Mae West. Okay.
If I just may say a few brief things.
Oh, very quickly, because we have one more guest,
I
Mr.
understand
Trayman.
that. I believe that if we're going through chaos, the best way to get at it is to laugh at society. People are not going to change. We just have to create situations that are funny, and the way people react will be funny, and we ourselves just won't get caught up in anything negative.
Okay, that's a nice thought, Mr. Trayman. And now let's please bring out our final guest so we have everyone out. And with this, as someone who came to our attention through the mail, actually, and we're very happy to have Alan Chusid
Yeah.
the program. Mr. Trayman, maybe you can move,
Sure, Father.
if you don't mind, down next to Mr. Brown. Hello, Mr. Chusid. How are you?
Fine, thank you.
Now, you're going to do an original song for us today, right?
Yes.
Sorry we don't have all that much time, but this is something you call Destiny, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And You've met David?
David?
Okay.
Okay. Called upon you so many times. Life tortured me, wanted to leave all men behind. Who believed less of himself, caught in fear, tries to stop me living our destiny. Called upon you so many times. You're what?
All right, I'm sorry, Mr. Chusid. It's David. David, this is a nice song. Now leave him alone, please.
I am finding. Materialized into my skeptic mind. Plans to escape death for which lead.
Hey, just keep playing, Mr. Chusid. Want to thank everyone for watching Beyond Vaudeville. We're going to have to go. Thank you, Mr. William Brown, for coming on the program. And thank you, Trey Man, for coming on. And, of course, Alan Chusid, a newfound star we have here on the Beyond Vaudeville program. And thank you, Suzanne, for coming on earlier. And now let's close out with a little more from Mr. Alan Chusid.
This is how you're out of touch with yourself. Learn not to fear. Cast aside